Hello, everybody. Yes, we are here. I know you're like, wait, I hear a voice, but I see no one. Surprise. You like the way we
Here
do
we
that.
are.
It's the big reveal. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I have a great friend of mine. You don't know you can make friends on LinkedIn, but you really can. Um, about 2 years ago, I got this message from this woman that I connected with, and her name happened to be Kristina Smith. And she goes, "Hey, I'm hosting this training. Um, Maybe you know someone who would like to attend." And I look at it and I was like, well, that someone is me. And so 2 years later, she has not been able to get rid of me. And I did share it with a friend or two. So I just want to make that I did share it, Kristina. So Kristina, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Tell everybody a little bit about you.
Sure. So I am currently residing right outside of Washington, D.C., but I grew up in Washington in the Northeast section. Um, Drove by there the other day to see my old stomping grounds, and it has totally transformed for many different reasons. But I'm the oldest. I have two younger brothers, and we're closer now that we've gotten older than when we were growing up. But you know, we say we were really blessed. We had both of our parents growing up. They were really good models of one particular way of raising kids, although we will say we did get the the belt beatings badly when we were growing up. But we're still here and we're thriving, doing well, and so on and so forth. So
I love
it's
it.
cool.
I love it. So
Yeah.
two brothers and you. And so were you the princess or were you the ruler? Like how did that go?
Yeah, so my mother used to say to me all the time, "Why are you so bossy?" And now I know I was practicing to be the boss. That's what I was practicing to be.
Yeah.
But my brothers could do, I mean, I was always in trouble. They could do no wrong. And, it was hard. But as we got older, it's like we've all sort of really mellowed out. And like I said, we have a really good relationship. It's really cool. Really
I
cool.
love it. I love it. So
Yep.
a DC native. Oh my God. I have so
Mhm.
many questions about DC natives because there are many of you that are still or was it Washingtonians that have so much history and share so much information about the city, the capital of the United States, as we should say. But I wanna ask you a question because you are one of the speakers at our virtual summit this year, and I wanted to talk about something because now you're doing more DEI work, and I
Yes.
guess one of the questions I'm going to ask you, and I know I said I wasn't, but I'm going to ask you. You worked in HR, now you're in DEI. How do you how did you see did you see a difference between that work or how to marry it as you moved over to more DEI work?
So actually, uh, it has been a really unusual journey because for the bulk of my career, I was in the field of training. And yes, we were housed under human resources, but our team really focused on, new hire training, developmental training for leaders, um, you know, new product training. And so that's where we spent the bulk of our time. And when it was time for me to go off on my own, I actually started work in the field of training and development. And I literally was getting ready to retire with all my friends, and we were just going to hang out and travel. And Michelle, I am not kidding. I went through this thing where every night there was this pulsating in my chest. And I've had these before, and it usually means something is trying to come to me. I'm having some epiphany about something. And all of a sudden, and I would go to bed every night saying, "What is this? What is this thing that's pulsating?" one night out of a deep sleep, I sat straight up and I had this knowing that I was supposed to be doing work around race and diversity and equity. And I was like, what? Like I'm about to check out and go travel the world. What you talking about? It was so funny. But literally, I 2 weeks later, I met a woman who had been doing race work for 30 years and decided that I was just going to tag along with her business. I was like, I don't have to recreate the wheel. Let me just go help her. I did that for about a year and then decided it was time to kind of go off on my own. She was really doing race work. And what I could see at that time, companies and individuals were not ready to do the race work. This was pre George Floyd. So I said, let me just focus on diversity, which is you know, is a different, it's a lighter touch. I go do that, did that for a while by myself. And then all of a sudden I had these people that just gravitated towards me and we started working together. And, we used to have to beg for work. And then ever since George Floyd, we have people standing in line to do the work. So
I love it. I will say, yeah, the work has definitely has an uptick since May of 2020. In looking at your background, just being a native of the district, right? And the work you do in DEI and what you've seen as changes in your old stomping grounds, how does that all does that come full circle for you?
it's actually a little because it has changed so radically. It's been a very dramatic change. Definitely a large part of it is gentrification. A lot of Black and brown families are being pushed out of their homes and so on and so forth, and couldn't afford to live in the neighborhoods where, their parents grew up in, and so on and so forth. So, and a lot of people are unaware of what that families and communities when things like that happen. So the thing that I am really passionate about is bringing awareness to people, number one, who are unaware, and then also helping them realize what is every community's role in transforming the society in which we live. Because things really need to change. I say all the time, we are the adults, we are the people who are responsible for making the world a better place. Like we can't continue to let this divisiveness and lack of awareness hold us back any longer.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Um, so we're sitting here and we're talking about gentrification, you being a Washington native, district, not Washington State, the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and the work you went from learning and development or training to DEI. What, you've been at this work for a while and the impact that it really has in the last 2 years, what are you seeing that's really working and what is falling by the wayside?
Yeah, so it's really that's a great question, Michelle, because it really is so interesting as our team goes in and does work with an organization. There are people who really think that they're ready to do the work, but they don't really understand what the work is. They think it's showing up to a training. They think it's reading an article or watching a TED talk. It is twofold. It is being educated about how did we get here to begin with? How did we end up here? Number one. And then number two, what is the work that each person, and every person has to do this work? We are all indoctrinated with a system that is a system of oppression. And so, without a doubt, we have got to understand that. and understand exactly what it is we need to do. So it is twofold. It's becoming aware of our history and all of the history in this country, and not only the history in this country, but the history around the world, around racism and colorism. All of that's really important. And then what are the things that we need to do to, you know, address that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So everybody, if you don't know, Kristina is a speaker at my virtual summit this month. Actually, this month, meaning next week, Thursday. So we're barely a week away.
I can't believe it.
Look, you're like, I'm in. I was like, okay, bet. And then she's like, wait, time flies. So this. I'm going to show y'all what Kristina is going to be talking about, right? She's going to be talking about creating a career pathing program to retain employees. So often companies think we're just going to diversify, we're going to hire people, but I don't know. How do you get us to stay? And it's not by just giving us more work. And so Kristina is going live. I'll be interviewing her at 12:05 p.m. Yes, I know, I'm the engineer. 12:05 p.m. on Thursday, September 29th. So be sure you come through and join us. And yes, I will share how you can register for this event. So you can go to diversitydata.positivehire.co. So Kristina, we still have some time. You're not done yet. So I just want to bring that up. When you think about the different areas of DEI and why people think they aren't ready, why people think they are ready when they're not, are you finding there's also other gaps with the budget and other resources when it comes to actually starting the work, much less solving the issue of racism?
Yeah. And again, I think the last several experiences that I've had with clients have really enlightened me about the work that I want to start doing up front so that people really get an indication. And again, because we have people standing in line to get this work done, this is the first time probably ever that I've been able to say, I'm not sure you're ready. So I'm going to start doing a readiness assessment, potential clients, to see if they're really ready to do the work, to see, do they have the budget to do this work? Do they have the time and the resources? Are they committed to, to making the changes happen? And yeah.
Thank you so much for that. I think assessments are important too. I found that organizations sometimes don't think they need an assessment. They think they know what they need or what the starting point is. But even in high school or junior high sports, you have a tryout. And so where you can figure out where to place players, if somebody's going to make the team, and the same thing needs to happen with some type of assessment, review, exercise has to go on. And too often orgs don't want it. And that's usually the lowest investment for organization before they start this work, and then going from there. But I agree, an assessment is definitely needed.
It's interesting. We had an organization that came to us predominantly, the most of the people in the organization are from the dominant community. And they were saying they wanted to be the voice of anti-racism out in the community. Okay, that's fine. But before we do that, I would really like to do my own assessment. Once we did our assessment, what we found out is that even members of the dominant community didn't feel like they belonged in their organization. They were feeling like they weren't respected, they weren't valued, and now you're going to go out and, pitch on behalf of other people. We told them, you can do that, but you can't do that until we things balanced and on target within the organization. That's the last thing you need is people saying, "Oh, we're supporting Black Lives Matter," but the people who are in this organization, they don't even feel like they matter. So we've done a fantastic job moving the needle forward on that, and now we're ready to go do that community work.
Thank you for that. So everybody, if you are looking to take action or even just learn a little bit more, because some people have been learning for the last 2 years, and we've been talking this year like, hey, it's time to take action. Come join Kristina during her session to learn how to retain the diverse talent you said you want in your organization. Come learn how to retain that talent. It's too often that part is ignored or is thought of after the turnovers and after the pips, but we want to do it preemptively. And bringing Kristina with her years of experience. Remember, she said she was about to go retire, and she started her own business focused on DEI and anti-racism work. So be sure you come check us out. Kristina, any final words or thoughts about your session and to let people know what you'll be talking about?
Thank you, Michelle, for taking this moment in time to talk about this. I want to say there are proven strategies that if it's done the right way, you can recruit, hire, and retain the best talent, number one. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what do you need to do those things.
Thank you, Kristina. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time with one of our other speakers for you to get to know why you should be joining his session as well. He's another Thursday speaker, so we expanded it from 1 day to 2 days. I don't know if I expanded. Last year we did 1 day, but then in 2020 I did a whole week. But look, I'm not. Look, I know I'm getting older and like I can't sit that long and I need some break. So we're gonna do what it do. So everybody be sure to come out on Thursday. We're kicking it off at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific. So y'all don't have to get up too early Pacific time. And we will end, guess what, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you have work to go do, you're like, oh, wait, no, it is not all day. It is not all day. We still know you got kids, you have family, you have pets, you have a job. And so, but you can come and join the sessions that really work for you, or you can stay the entire time. We would love to be your podcast playing in the background, helping you, keeping you energized throughout the workday. So everybody, until then, I will see y'all later. Bye.